welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen. This is a flashback review of my Visconti Divina Desert Spring, and this is a pen that I have had for about 7.5 years. This is a beautiful of a pen. It's a celluloid pen. And I knew when I saw it, I bought this from right here in Shrewsbury in the UK, and I really like this material. This material, I've mentioned before, actually reminds me of holidays as a kid going down to Cornwall, where you have a lot of, not yellow sand, but red brownish sand. And this reminded me a lot of bringing back little tubes, test tubes of sand, just as a keepsake when I was on holiday as a kid. And I really like this Desert Springs. It really is a beautiful pen. I remember though when I wanted to buy this, I wanted the Proporzioni version of the pen, which has an ink window. But that was twice the price as this one. So, and it was a limited edition, whereas this is just a regular edition until they run out of the celluloid. So I ended up buying this one instead. It is a beautiful pen. You can see here, it is faceted, and those facets do twist. You don't have, like most Divinas, you don't have the sterling silver rods going around the pen. And I'm glad that they didn't do that, because that would have distracted from the beauty of this pen. It really is a nice pen. You've got the same celluloid here on the section, and I've got a 23 cat palladium medium nib on this pen. You'll see this a little bit here. This is a captive converter that you pull out, and then basically you twist, and that engages essentially a captive or hidden converter inside that pen, and twists it, and you can ink the pen up. Now, can you post the cap? You can do. It will post deeply and securely. I do have my initials on there. I can put the Visconti. I do keep the Visconti coin finials. I can put that back if I were to sell it at some point. I don't think I would sell this model. It is a nice model, and long sold out, and you do not see these around anywhere. I know Chatty did make a very small limited edition run of this material in a Homo sapiens model. I kind of wish I could get that, but I did pass on that a couple of times, and yeah, maybe if one comes up at some point, maybe I might buy one, but I think the reason why I passed on it was the prices were way too expensive. I think they were closer to $1,000, which was insane. I paid a lot less for this model. But I really do like this celluloid. It really is a beautiful celluloid. I wish that this celluloid was made a lot more of it. It's got some chatoyance here in that celluloid as well. It really is just nice. And I think this is a blend of resin and celluloid. I'm not 100% sure. I know Visconti did call it celluloid or acryloid, which is their name for celluloid. So I think it was acryloid they called it. Or was that Aurora? Now I'm doubting myself. Anyway, it's definitely a celluloid material, and you can kind of smell that in the cap. I'm just smelling the cap a little bit there. So it's a nice pen. I really do like this pen a lot. I'm glad that I added it to my collection when I did. I've had it for nearly 8 years, about 7.5 years in my collection. I like the Divinas. I like their length. The only thing I really dislike, or maybe not dislike is probably a too harsh a word, but I wish that they didn't come with a captive converter. I don't know. I know Dante Del Vecchio was experimenting a lot with various filling systems, and I just wish it wasn't a captive converter. I think, if I'm right in saying, the limited edition version of this one had a touchdown type filler, whereas this one was a captive converter, and I think probably that's the reason was down to the price. But I think the reason why they couldn't do a power vac was the pen does get a little bit thin towards the end here. I'm sure they probably could have done something, and I'm pretty sure. I'm just thinking of the Chatterley Homo sapiens version. I want to say that's a power vac. I might be wrong. Maybe that is a cartridge converter. Maybe that was why I also disliked that one. I can't remember now. But this is a really, really nice pen, and I do have a number of Divinas, and I do have them in my collection. It's got a hook safe lock mechanism there, so a quarter of a turn it will just lock and unlock, and you also have that concave section there as well, which stops my fingers slipping down normally onto the nib and feed. So there you have it. It's a very nice pen, and I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have the Visconti Empire. We have a Marjon Titanium P136. We have a Mont Blanc, and this is a writer's edition Jane Austen. We have a Visconti Homo sapiens, and this is the Bronze Age oversized lava. We have a Visconti Divina Desert Spring, and you can see here that this is slightly longer than a Homo sapiens, but it does taper down a little bit more, I think, compared to the Homo sapiens. We have an Anoto, and this is the University of Oxford. We have another Anoto, and this is the Magna Classic in the Chased Amber Pearl. We have a Cypress Eggshell 06, a Cypress Eggshell 01, and a Cypress Eggshell 05A. So I think let's now do a writing sample. So this is the Visconti, and this is the Divina, and it's the Desert Spring. And I always thought it should be called Desert Springs, but it's the Desert Spring, even though I put an S there. It's a medium, and it's a 23 cat palladium nib. The ink in here today is diamine, and it is amaranth. Now, I would usually put another ink in there. I used to write a lot with Pilot Wachizuku Tsuji, which is a really hot pink. But I think more lately I've been going for the diamine amaranth. Now, in terms of line variation, you are definitely getting what is classed as a Western medium. If you push it a bit more, you can definitely, it's a springy 23 cat palladium nib, you can get a little bit more towards a broad. And you can see that here. And then if I continue those vertical lines, there's no hard starts or skips. This really is a beautiful writing nib. In terms of ink wetness, let's take a look at this. And we'll do another horizontal pass. You can see there that this is quite a wet nib. And why I like and have liked Viscontis, because their nibs are pretty wet. They are generously wet. So what do I like? What do I not like about the pen? Well, clearly I bought it nearly 8 years ago. And I still have it in my collection to this very day. So from that perspective, I do like this pen a lot. I've not sold it. I've not got rid of it. I love how it writes. I normally, as I said, would use Pilot Wachizuku Tsuji, but more recently, I've been using Diamine Amaranth. The pen itself is a good weight, a good balance. I like the length of it. What do I dislike? I kind of dislike the captive converter. I wish that it was a power vac or just a converter where you could unscrew the body. I've not had. I've got a number of Visconti Divinas, and I've not had any of them fail in that captive converter. I just think that it could, and a converter typically will hold around about 0.7 milliliters of ink, and that's essentially what this will hold. So I don't think you're really getting any benefit out of this by having it as a captive converter, other than you don't have to unscrew the body. But the captive converter is a little bit fiddly if you don't have nails to pull that out. Other than that, I really like this pen. I like it a lot, and I still have it in my collection. So there you have it. That's my flashback review of the Visconti Divina Desert Springs in a medium 23 cat palladium nib. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.